Welcome back here to Hogo On Demand. We're in the second part of our first show here with our second installment here from our preseason coach interview. Right now we're at Northwood High School with head coach for the Panthers, Mark Frye. He's in his fourth season with the Panthers. And you're talking about somebody who's paid his dues at the coaching level, 22 years at the 8th grade level, 13 at Chilhowie, 13 at Chilhowie, 9 here at Northwood before he took over. And he's taken Northwood to the playoffs the past 2 years. They hadn't been to the playoffs since '06. Northwood only had 4 wins from '07 to 2010, 1 win a year. The past 2 years, Coach Frye's won 11 games. So it's been a quick turnaround here, going into his 4th year. And we're glad to have him on the show here today. Coach Frye, how has your spring and summer been so far with the Northwood Panthers?
Our spring and summer has been very, very busy, very busy. I think any school, small schools especially, and even big schools, they're very, very busy. You know, the weight room, it's open every day for our kids. We share athletes in a small school. You hear the same names in every sport. You hear the same names at least in 2 of the 3 sports. Our spring, we averaged about 15 kids a day in the weight room. The summer, it was a slow summer. It was a slow summer, and I've got on our kids about that. It takes work. You've got to work. And in the summer, if we had 15 kids here, it was a pretty good day. And I think a lot of that is, there's so much out there now. Kids, we were growing up, we were out and always had a ball in our hand, whether baseball, basketball, something. We were always doing something to be active. Now it's, I think a lot of times these kids, when they get older, we're going to hear of a lot of, surgery for your wrist.
Carpal tunnel?
Yeah, that's it. Tunnel. I think we'll have a lot of those surgeries because I think kids are at home today and they're beating the heck out of that racing game or some kind of game on the video, or they're on that cell phone. I've got a cell phone, and there's days I don't even check it. I don't check it. I mainly got a cell phone so I can keep up with my boys. I can text them when I need them. But we're rolling right now. We started practice Thursday, and it looks like our numbers, we're going to be about 35 kids. That's not a lot of kids, but we're in a school with 250. So in that, we'll go with that, and we'll show up and do the best we can on Friday nights and the best we can on Monday nights.
We got a special visitor.
It's here. Buddy. Buddy's our special visitor. Yeah, we let Buddy loose, and he's our buddy.
Buddy's our buddy.
All right, buddy.
You went 6-5 last year, the best season since '03, and you lost to Covington in the first round of the VHSL tournament or playoffs. This year you have 12 seniors, a senior QB under center and Channing Call. You had a key loss though with Jason Prater. How big of a thing is that for you to lose Jason Prater there?
Well, he's just a natural athlete. Jason was I'm going to put him right there at the top when it comes to athletes going through our school in natural ability. But when you mention the name Prater at Northwood, all Praters were athletes. That goes with the territory. If you were a Prater, you were an athlete, and Jason was too. We'll miss Jason, but we're looking forward also to moving on. We're going to see what we do without Jason. I think the kids have stepped up. We got Channing Kyle coming back, and so far Channing I saw Channing at the Rural Retreat game last year, come out and just, it's like he blossomed at Rural Retreat. He just came out, and Channing, he's going to be a big part of our offense. He has to be. He's going to run the football. He's going to throw the football. We're not a big throwing team. If you notice, we like to pound it, we grind it, but we got to get Channing the ball more ways this year. He's one of the best athletes we got. He's just a natural athlete, and we got to get Channing the ball, and we'll find ways to do that.
Yeah, the turnaround you've made this year with this Panther team, or the past few years, has been very impressive. Your first year, 2011, you won 2 games.
Went 2 and 8.
You come back, you win 5. Now you win 6. How do you keep this momentum going with this Northwood team?
Well, I don't know. God has blessed me. I'd give all the thanks to God first. God has blessed me more than I'll ever deserve in this life, and the credit the credit's not me. It's just I give everything to God that He's done, and I've got a great coaching staff. My coaching staff, they care about the boys first. That's our number one goal the boys. There's nothing in coaching like the feeling that you've coached, and even today, kids I've coached at Chilhowie, I'll see when they come up and talk to you and they remember this about you, they remember that. Well, that makes everything worthwhile. Yeah. It's the wins and losses are great, but there's things more important than wins and losses. But don't get me wrong, I want to win. And I've mellowed out as I've gotten older. I used to be at all that rah and all, and I've kind of mellowed out a little bit to the point I don't get as excited emotionally as I used to. But it's we have had some success the last 2 years. We did go 5-5. Went to Eastside and we got beat 23-16.
Close game, yeah.
Real good team. And the game ended. We were on the 3-yard line. 3-yard line, and the game ended. I think we threw an interception on 3rd down, but the clock was down to 20 seconds. So we had to try to make a play. And the kids fought so hard that night. I think that was one of the best games we played since I've been here.
Against good competition. Yes. That's a step up right there, Eastside.
It was. And last year we did go 6-4 and lost a heartbreaker. A heartbreaker at Holston. We're ahead 29-6 at half. You don't expect to lose that game, and we just kind of had a meltdown the second half, and that just eats at you somewhat. But Coach Matlock, he does a great job, and he gets the most out of his kids. Yeah. And I think they had Sugar Shane Milhorn, and Barlow, and that daggone quarterback they got. He's just quick, and they got the momentum, and we couldn't seize nothing back, and they came back. So we could have won 7, and then we had a tough go with Chilhowie that we felt like the second half we had a good chance to win, and we had a little incident there near halftime I thought was really blown out of shape. Coach Robinson or myself, I think neither one of us, we thought it was nothing serious like it came over. It was just a little thing that happened, and both of us lost a few boys, but it was a good year for us. And we went to Covington, and we really felt like going to Covington. We had a chance to win that ball game. We saw them. We knew they were good. And we went up there and we moved the ball, but we couldn't stop them. That's the quickest team we played. You're talking about speed. They had speed, and the next week they beat us, I think, 42-20. The next week they go to Honaker, and I think they beat them 35-0. So they were the real deal. They were the real deal. But this year, we're looking forward. We want to improve. That's our goal. We want to improve every year, give it what we got, and see what we can do.
Where do you see your team finishing this year in the Hogo?
Man.
Hit you with a tough question.
That's a tough question. My top three. I think you're going to put George with Marion, Chilhowie. Chilhowie is Chilhowie. They're going to be there every year. I don't care what you do. Coach Russell, he was there, and he probably averaged 7-8 wins over 10, 12 years. Coach Robinson, takes over next year. Last year had a great year. They got those big linemen back. They were just so big in the line last year. They just wore on people, and they had a good running back. And I think Coach Robinson, he does with defense. He's as good as anybody around with his defense. And Marion, Coach Carroll, he's put that spread game in, and Coach Carroll's brought a lot of excitement to Marion. He's really turned that program around tremendously. And
Marion won our 7-on-7 tournament. They looked pretty good during this.
Yeah, Coach Carroll, he's just kids love him. They play hard for him, and he's a great guy. As I was telling you earlier, just this week, Coach Carroll, we go up and we see a sled up there. At a 7-on-7 he's not using, and we ask him about it. He says, "You can have it, come and get it." Well, how many coaches are going to give you a good 5-man sled? So we go up and we get it and bring it back, and heck, it's to us it's like $1 million.
Yeah, and, not many, especially your own competition. Your rival right there, Marion, giving you a sled, that worked out pretty good.
Oh, it's super. And that's what I've been just so overwhelmed about is the closeness of coaches. Almost we'll go to games and we'll sit with the team we're getting ready to play and sit and talk to the coaches for 30 minutes, and then we go play football. And it's just unbelievable that's been the biggest surprise to me is how close knit most of the coaches are. Most all of them are just they'll talk to you. They'll sit down and talk to you. You know, I've talked to coaches. You know, when you coach middle school for 22 years and you step up to high school, well, you say, man, you might be a little overwhelmed here. Might be a little bit overwhelmed. And there's not a real big difference. There's not a real big difference. But I've talked to Mark Dixon at Galax, who to me is, and I've heard other coaches say it, you know, he's just probably the best coach in this area. I mean, I hate to say that, because I don't want to offend any coaches out there now. I don't offend nobody. But when you hear it from the likes like Coach Ingo, who was at Whitfield and a great coach, and he brags on Coach Dixon, you know, he says he's a notch above all of us, and you know, you watch him, he's had great.
Notes then, right?
Yeah, and he don't shy away from nobody. You know, he plays the best of the best. His schedule, it's unreal. He'll play whoever you want to play him. He'll play, and we went and talked to him. Even he's a super nice guy. Played for the Miami Dolphins, and you know, I've talked to Coach Collie at Hayside. He sat down and talked to me this summer for 3 hours, and you just can't beat the coaches. If you want to talk to them, they're there to help you.
And that's something that really surprised you. Now, you coached 8th grade for 22 years.
22 years.
So, and you were here at Northwood for 8 or 9 of those years. How big an advantage was that to you to know from, like, you were coaching some of these kids that were on your varsity team here at Northwood your first few years? Do you still got any of those players left that you coached in 8th grade?
I do, Dylan.
This the last group here?
I do, Dylan. It's probably a real unique situation. I've told my seniors, I said, I don't know if any coach has ever been able to coach the same kids 6 years. Right, these seniors I had as 7th graders, as 8th graders, 9, 10, 11, now they're seniors. 6 years.
So this is your group then, basically.
Yeah. They're probably glad. They're probably be glad to get rid of them. But, you know, I've had them, and there's days that, you know, there's days probably they get pretty. I know I get ill with them, and it's vice versa. But we work together, and you know, it's a special group. It's a special group, and the juniors behind them, I've had 5 years, and I teach at the middle school. That's good in a way. It's bad in a way. It's good that I get to know the kids.
You get the younger kids, but you don't get to mingle with your own. Yeah.
When I lose them, and you get to the high school, and you don't get to see them, and you don't get that encouragement to say, you know, let's get out here and play football. When over here we recruit. Now, when I say recruit, I don't mean other schools. I mean our boys. You know, we have to go out. We're really drawn out. We go all the way up to Bland County, you know, which is an hour away, right at a good 45 minutes away from here. We go to Washington County. So Northwood is it's just so big of an area. Coach Bricky, who is you know, great with the kids, they love him. He goes with me. We go to kids' home. We have to sit down. We have to say, you know, we need you to play football. A lot of coaches, they're not going to do that. They're going to say, if they want to play, they'll show up. Well, we don't have that benefit. You know, when we're sitting here with 250 kids in the school, we've got to get who we can, and you know, it works sometimes. Sometimes it don't. But one of the kids that I'm talking about is, I always wrote a letter when I was in middle school. And I always write a letter to every boy in the middle school, and I'd send it out. Well, I sent one, and I remember his mom telling me, Christopher Roberts. He's our middle linebacker. He's our fullback. All right, he came down here probably, you know, when he got that letter in the 7th grade, I remember his mom saying it made his day. He's playing football. Well, he stayed with it, and he's not missed a weight session that I know of. And he's 180 pounds right now, and he was all-district linebacker last year. And I've asked Blake Olinger, who, you know, is my projected tailback, about our fullback. He said, I want Chris Roberts. Said, he's a man. You know, he knows that Chris will give him 110%. And that's just, you know, we just have to, it's a busy job. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Who do you consider Northwood's real rival?
Well,
because you got a lot of teams vying for that top spot there.
It's naturally Chilhowie. You know, I'm not going to lie. People over here, you know, you mentioned Chilhowie, well, they, you know, that's probably our rival. You know, I don't know that Chilhowie looks at us as much as a rival. When I was at Chilhowie, their rival was Marion. You know, that was their game. You know, over here, it's got to be Chilhowie. That's our #1 rival. And we say rival, but we haven't beat them since '03. So I can see why we're not a rival to them, because, you know, to me a rivalry is you got to beat them
Yeah,
some.
it's got to be a pretty close.
You got to be pretty close both ways. And we've not cracked that shell since '03, and but that would be a rival. I know our basketball team last year. Congratulations, Coach Buchanan. Our basketball team, I think they beat Chilhowie in basketball for the first time in over 30 games.
At Chilhowie too, yeah.
And that was that meant a lot, to the players, to the town. But Chilhowie's one game. I mean, it's one game. It doesn't make your season. It doesn't break your season. I'd rather go 9-1 than beat Chilhowie and go 1-9, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's one football game. It's one game, and you treat it that way.
Yeah, it's just the way it works. But you got a few teams vying for that position there with Marion, and then some people would say PH worked their way in there a few years back. But
I tell you, Coach Palmer at Patrick Henry, he's so energetic. I mean, he just every time I talk to him, he's bouncing off the walls, full of energy, and he's done a great job. I mean, at PH, that was a program that was really, when he took it over, it was struggling with kids, and he's got the numbers up. They're winning. I think they're hungry this year. He's going to be a senior ball club. He's got a bunch of seniors, and I think they could be your surprise team.
They could be. Yeah, you were talking about that here earlier before we started this, how PH could be the surprise team.
I think they could. I think, on any given night, they could beat anybody. And Roy Retreat's Roy Retreat. Roy Retreat's those country boys. They're just country boys, and they show up, and they flat out will wear you out. They'll hit you. And, they told us they've been having 40 boys at weightlifting. So, they can beat anybody. I don't know that there's, like I said, my top three, I would go, I'm gonna put old Coach Carroll on the hot seat. I'm going to go Marion 1 and George Witt 2, with Chilhowie 3. And after that, it's like, I can see anything happen. I can see anything. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so last year you had the playmaker, versatile Jason Prater, who everybody knows was pretty good about every sport. He played baseball, basketball, and football. What are you going to do to fill that void with him? He could play wide receiver, running back, QB, do anything you needed. He
sure did. We played Jason everywhere. But, I tell the kids every year, everybody's replaceable. Everybody's replaceable. We learned that 2 years ago here. We felt like, we could have a really good team, and we played Marion, and we had 5 boys go to the emergency room that night. 5 boys. 2 of them with season-ending injuries. Blake Olinger, a sophomore, who was, he was running the ball. He was great at 220. Now he's 250. Yeah, 250, and he's still running the ball. We'll see how that goes. So, Blake, if you're listening, you remember that. You've got to work, boy. You've got to work. But Blake tore an ACL here against Marion 2 years ago, and Morgan Buchanan, who was just, his feet and size were unbelievable. He was like 270 and quick as a cat. He was hard to block. And he goes on a freak play, sacks the quarterback. And when he goes down, his elbow turns inside out. And it was just... he comes over, his coach can't feel my arm. Well, we naturally think it's a stinger. So we keep asking him, Morgan, you all right? You all right? And he says, no, Coach, I can't feel nothing. So we take him to the hospital, and he had shattered the bone in here in the elbow, several bones, and had to put a metal plate, screws in. And so we lose 2 of our top players right there in that ball game. And the kids, I couldn't be more proud of that year. They rebounded, showed resilience, and we come back and go 5-5, and that says a lot about the kids. And I appreciate that from them. And that ended up being a year that could have been a disaster, which was 5-5, but we felt like with those 2 we could have been better.
You kept the boat from sinking there. Then you were talking about injuries, about the 90-minute contact rule. We was talking about that earlier with the VHSL. What are your feelings toward that rule as far as you only get 90 minutes a week of contact?
Well, when you're sitting here with the kids we have, I'm not a big believer on bringing my younger kids up and being like I'm gonna call them like a scout team against my varsity. I don't want to beat up on my younger kids. I know if I'm a freshman, I don't want to be up there getting beat up on by the seniors. And I'm not a big believer in that. So I don't think the 90-minute rule will really hurt us at all, because we're probably not doing that anyway. We just don't have, we don't want somebody getting hurt. We don't have the depth to do that. And at the same time, like I said, I don't want my freshmen up there getting beat up on by my varsity, and so we try as much as we can to keep our JV and varsity separated. It's hard to do when you know, if you don't have enough kids to do it. It's hard to do, but that's something that you know, I don't think will really affect us.
Yeah, it's been something a lot of teams are really having a lot of questions about, and that's just something we'd like to clarify with a lot of our viewers, is how some of your outlooks are. It seems like the teams that don't have as many players don't feel as bad about the rule because you don't want to risk injury that much.
Exactly.
And another question here is, you get the bulk of your Hoga-Higgy games here at home. So how do you feel about that?
Well, that's always an advantage. You know, anytime you play at home, it's an advantage. And everybody, you know, where we live, it's a small community, and like most towns in Southwest Virginia, it's a football town. You know, it always has been. Before we consolidated, you had Salville, Rich Valley, big rivals. But you'd go to the stadiums and they would be full. I mean, it was just a football community, and once we consolidated and come together, you know, the transition was good. It was a smooth transition. Kids get along fine. Most of the times when you consolidate, you know, kids are fine if you just get there's Buddy back.
Buddy's back.
If we you know, you get the parents and everybody on board with it, the consolidation, it's not as bad as it seems. It wasn't for us anyway.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said that at the Northwood games now, the people who went to Rich Valley still sit in their own little section, and the people that's sitting there, they still sit it with their high school teammates from back whenever they was in high school.
Probably somewhat, yeah. And we, you know, one thing I really like,
they're still coming out to pull for Northwood, though.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We call it fence row. We have a lot of people line up down in the end zone in the fence, and they like that. And we came out one year and came through the visitor side, and all the boys, they really liked it. And I know the people on the fence liked it. We went by and giving them high fives, you know, before a game, and it really was that was a special game for us. I thought just to come by that way and do that. It means, you know, people come out and support us, and you know, we like where we live, and all small towns and schools in Southwest Virginia, they're football schools. Yeah. And if you don't win, you hear it. I mean, I don't care how good or how bad you are, people expect you to win.
They must be proud of you today. They're coming by honking. We've had 2 or 3 cars come by yelling Coach Frye.
Really?
You're the superstar of sophomore.
No.
You're
not at all. Not at all. Long from it. Just long from it. I just, like I said, I thank God for the blessings He's given me every day. I mean, we take for granted so much that He's given us, and you know, I've just been blessed.
You've done a good job with this team here, and you're a good coach to these players. You're a running back. Blake Olinger's in his senior season. How excited, you were talking about him earlier, give him that warning. How excited are you about him running between the tackles now? What, 240 this year?
250.
250 this year.
Oh man, I told somebody, I was talking to a coach.
He's gonna run somebody over, right?
we were talking, and I'm not trying to put a bullseye on Blake for other teams. All right, Blake's a great kid, but you know, to be 250 and be a tailback, people say no, that's a fullback. Well, you know, Blake, he's worked hard. He had an ACL injury, and last year Blake was not nearly Blake. You know, he was Blake's about 6 foot, maybe 6'1", 250. Blake will run he'll run right at a 5 flat 40. The thing with Blake is going to be endurance, because he's also our defensive end, and he's got to be in shape like all the kids, and that's one thing we're preaching. We got to go hard in practice. We got to go hard conditioning. We got to get there. We got to, you got to be in shape, because some schools you look and they'll bring 7 off, and the defense goes on. There's 7 new ones coming.
Yeah,
you're not going to see that at Northwood. You're not going to see that.
Yeah, you don't have the two-way players, do you? You don't have that.
No, sir, we don't. But Blake is, Blake's a special kid to me. I've coached him, like I said, since 7th grade, and Blake's, all those kids are just special kids, and I look at way all the kids we coach are special kids. I want, like I said, there's no feeling. Your rewards come when later in life, when kids come back to you and tell you something you've done for them, or they remember this about your coaching or your teaching, and that's where God blesses you. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It's more to it than a football season. There's a whole year that goes into this, and the time that every coach spends is amazing for what you get out of it right there. Come the Friday nights in the fall, there's a lot of time going into just an hour of football.
It is. We got so many kids, and not only, in today's world, there's so many kids that are, say, raised by grandparents or single-parent homes, and they're looking for somebody that to give them a little attention, to care about them. And to me, I feel like our coaching strength, that's the strength of us, I think, is letting the kids know we care about them more so than the X's and the O's. We may not be the great X and O coaches, but I think the kids know we care about them. So the ones that we got, I think
They'll give it all for you.
They give it all for us, and I think that's why I said I'm always looking for answers. If there's a coach I can learn something from, I'll be there to learn it. Because like I said, I was middle school coach for 22 years, and when this job came open, I never even had ever thought about being a head coach, and I even thought about this for a month before I even applied. I wasn't sure do I want to be a head coach, and I applied, and I was fortunate to get it. And I think Mr. Dunn, Mr. Post, and administration, and Dr. Robinson, our superintendent, for the opportunity to do it. And I coach pretty much year-to-year basis, and it takes a lot of time and all. And at the end of the year, I just say, is this something you want to keep doing? Because it does take a lot of time.
Yeah.
And so far,
So far, you've said yeah.
The answer's been yes.
So, one of our last questions. In one word, describe yourself as a coach.
Oh gosh, one word. Okay, one word as a coach. How about overwhelmed?
Overwhelmed? Can you explain?
Well, when I say overwhelmed, I'm fortunate. I got a great wife. And I am talking. She says I'll never say nothing good about her. So my wife Mitzi, she also teaches, and this year she'll be working with the cheerleaders. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. We may end up on Andy over here knows Mitzi, and we may end up on fights or on the sideline. But she is very supportive. I'm out. I pretty much live at this field house. People may not realize and say it, but we're here almost every night till 9 o'clock. Summer, school going on, we're still here till about 9 o'clock every night. And we got kids that'll stay. They hang around. We got a ping pong table in here, and there's people waiting to play ping pong, and that's a good feeling too, because the kids are here. They're not out doing something they shouldn't be doing. And like I said, our number one thing, I think, as a coach, is hopefully to mentor these kids. And one thing we do is we visit churches during the season and get the kids to go, because we do want to win now. I mean, it's important that we win. We want to win, but if they do win God and they find God, then Jesus, they've won the big game of life.
Bigger game other than just between
exactly. And I'm sitting here, and I'm not a perfect person, and I don't want to sound like one, but I want these kids to know right from wrong, and I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I'm far from perfect. And I was a kid, and I've been there before, and I know what it's like, and the temptations of the world, and so if you do get kids going in the right direction, then that's probably the
biggest win you can get.
That's probably the biggest win. It is.
All right. So after that, the one word to describe yourself. What is your biggest strength?
I'm gonna lay it on the seniors. We've got 12 seniors, and out of 35 players, 12 of them are seniors. And I've really been impressed by, and I want to bring up Channing again. Channing, I've got on Channing a lot about seriousness, being a leader. I said, this is your year, Channing. You got to lead. I said, what you do these other boys are going to follow. And Channing has accepted that right now. I couldn't be more proud of a kid than Channing right now. And we got to use Channing. Like I said, we're a power team. We run the ball power, but we got to find ways. We're going to run Blake, but we got to find ways to get Channing the ball. And there's a bunch of kids, you know, but I've got a junior, Eric Dome, and Eric's like 6'4", 180, and Eric can catch a football, and he's tenacious on defense. He was second team all conference, Western Conference last year as a sophomore. He played defensive end 5 games and had 9 sacks, and that's pretty daggone impressive.
That's pretty good.
That's really impressive, and to me, Eric, I mean, you couldn't have a more coachable kid. I can chew him out, and not once has he ever back-talked or even thought about it. And when he does something wrong, Eric says, you know, Coach, my fault. You don't hear that a lot. You know, you don't hear that a lot. And Eric is one at 6'4", and I think Eric coming into a junior year that he's going to start getting looks. And I think that Eric's got a shot, you know, to play college football. There's no doubt in my mind. If there's one kid, I'm going to take him. I mean, I'm going to take Eric because, like I said, his size and being a two-way starter, he'll be a little bit of a wide out. He'll be our second string quarterback behind Channing. If we go and say, all right, Channing, I need you to run the ball. We're not able to get it to you. We'll put you back here and run you. We can put Eric at quarterback. Channing can catch. Channing can play anywhere. I mean, we've got some good athletes. And Jonathan Wade, a senior, he hasn't missed. We got the Bice boys who are twins. The list could go on.
You got a lot of seniors this year, and that's something that's really going to be a plus heading into the fall.
It is. It's going to be a real plus. We lost some key players now. The players we lost were key players. The question is, have we got players that can step up and replace them? If so, we could, we can surprise some teams. And I've told the boys, I mean, it's there for us. But if we don't get after it, you know, we can go 1-9, or we can go 9-1. We want to go 10-0. But we can fall anywhere in between there. It all depends on the work ethic of the teams. How bad do you want it? How hungry are we this year? And I hope we have a hungry attitude.
Where do you feel your biggest strength is, defensively or offensively?
Well, that's a good question.
I know you hadn't had much time to really look it over, but your first 2 practices or your first 2 days of practice, where do you see the real strength in your team?
I'm gonna put it on defense. And the reason I say defense is you can win ball games, but you can't win championships, or you can't win a bunch of ball games without the defense. So, we're going to stress defense. Right now, we're looking at going to a 4-4 defense, a 40 look. The 40 keeps everything balanced. I know it's got weaknesses too, but I want to be more aggressive on defense. We want to stunt more this year. We want to come after, not sit back on our heels. And I'll use Coach Robinson there again. I think he does a great job defensively at Chilhowie. His game plan's great defensively, and they're aggressive. Sometimes you're aggressive, you can get burnt by it. But we've got to be more aggressive defensively. And I'm gonna put our strength on defense, but I also expect us to be good offensively.
Okay, now we're going.
You're having a hard time standing up.
I'm having a hard time with my chair. We're going to go and get ready to do our game. We've got a little special game we're doing with all the Huggy Huggy coaches. Okay. Hang right with us. I'll try to fix my chair.
Small town, throw down. It's time to talk board up. Let them tailgates down.
All right, it's time for the game part of the show.
Uh-oh.
It's time for the game part. Coach Patterson at Holston got it in a very quick amount of time. He ran through the whole stack of cards here. We're actually just going to time you and see how quick you can get it.
I'm slow, so it's going to be a long time.
We'll see how quick you can get these. So, Andy, you just let me know when you're ready. Favorite TV show?
Gunsmoke.
Math or history?
History.
Your biggest coaching moment?
Biggest coaching moment, beating Roy Treat last year. We hadn't beat them in 8 years.
What was your dream job when you were a kid?
Dream job when I was a kid? Probably coaching football. Right here in your hometown.
Second favorite sport?
Second favorite sport? Basketball.
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
First car?
First car, a Volkswagen Rabbit.
Special talent.
Special talent. Special talent. Don't have one.
Favorite sports team.
Favorite sports team. Boston Celtics.
Favorite movie.
Favorite movie. Rocky.
Rocky. Least favorite song.
Least favorite song. Love songs.
Love song. Every love song.
Not all.
La-
You put me on the spot here, Dylan.
Laid back or intense.
Laid back now. 10 years ago, intense.
Favorite food.
Pizza.
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 Unknown fact.
Unknown fact. Andy Brown. Andy Brown. I won't do it to Andy. Andy's here. I won't do
That's
it
our
to
cameraman.
I won't do it to Andy, but Andy has a special talent, and people know. All right, unknown fact is that Northwood, our community, is the best town in the whole world by far.
Most used line or quote as a coach.
I've got most used. Let's go, boys. We gotta get after it. Let's go. Get after. Put that lollygag. Put that loafing around. Let's go. Get after it. Bust your butt.
Favorite vacation spot.
Myrtle Beach. Went on a cruise this year. Loved it.
Did you? Well, that's it. How'd he do?
2 minutes, 1 second.
2 minutes, 1 second. That ain't bad. You're in
2 minutes
second
to
place.
second. I'll come in last. I guarantee you
You're in
that.
second.
I'll be last.
Second
on
out of
that.
second. We got some things we want to tell you about coming up in Panther football next Friday, August 8th. You want to tell them about Panther Pride Night? That'll be here at Northwood High School. It's a whole community event. You want to give them a little information on it?
Thank you, Matt Dillon. We appreciate you advertising that for us. We really do. This is my 4th year at Northwood, and when I first came, I said, well, I want to give something back to our community. So what we do a Panther Pride Night, and it gets a lot of, it's for the fall sports, so we try to get all the fall sports involved. It's hard to get golf involved. I mean, I don't know what we can do for golf, but like the volleyball team, we'll sit right behind me. We'll have a volleyball net, and we'll have a volleyball court lined off, and our girls volleyball will practice, and then what's really fun is our senior boys will come and play the senior girls in volleyball. The girls always win because they know the rules, but we play. All right, we got the band. The band will play a song or two for us. The cheerleaders will be here. They do face painting or tattoos. The young kids come. We have like a tire throw, a football throw for them. We got young kids out here on the field just punting, passing, having a good time. It's for the community, and we have a cornhole tournament. We have a cornhole tournament down in the end zone. We have probably 15 cornhole boards set up.
What time does that start? I'll have to come.
The cornhole tournament is the first thing. Hopefully it's going by 6:30. We hope.
I might have to come compete in that.
Oh, we want you. We want you. You and Andy will be a
None
good
of
team.
it's no charge for any of this, right?
No charge, and that's the thing that I've had people say, "Won't you charge a little bit for this or that?" And like, no, this is all for the community, and that's why the community. I'm telling you, I'm begging you, come out for this. All right, come out for this because it means a lot to our kids. It means a lot to the kids to see people. We get people come and they just sit in the stands, and it's a good get together. It's a time to socialize. They socialize, talk to one another. The cornhole tournament, that's probably the most popular. We play the cornhole tournament, and we play it in the winters. The winners of that, we give you a Panther t-shirt from the boosters, but everything's free. Yeah, there's no charge to get in, no charge for the cornhole tournament. It's just a good time. We don't, it's not like we're giving out a bunch of stuff, but it's just time. Get out, relax, come out, sit in the stands, talk to your friends. Just come out, and we will have concessions now. The concessions are not free, but you don't have to buy them. So really, everything is free. But if you want a hot dog, a hamburger,
they're the best hot dogs in the world.
Oh man, we have barbecue. It's barbecue. It's unmatched, and our boosters will set up, and they'll have shirts, and they'll have things, and we do sell those, but that goes back to the boys. It goes to the boys. But if you don't want to buy anything, you can come with 0 cents, no money at all, and
still have a good
time. Yeah, and like I said, we have little kids. They're on the field, and they're punting, passing, kicking, and they don't get on the field a lot, so that's special to them. It's special to be out there, and we have, like I said, even older people come and do the cornhole
You have an
tournament.
alumni football game too,
Yeah,
right?
glad you said
Forgot
that.
to mention.
Glad you said that. We have a flag football game, and I'm gonna have to bring in a Chilhowie player here that's plays in old Will Walker. Will Walker, he teaches ag over here half a day, and he did play in it last year, even though he's not alumni. But it's flag football. Don't you know? It's not contact. It's flag football, and we do the regulation. Go 20 yards and 4 downs for a first down, and instead of flag, it's really one-hand touch. It's one-hand touch. We don't want it, no blocking, nothing to get out of control or get anybody hurt. It's a friendly game, and last year we had 4 teams, so you know the number of teams we have, it depends on when we start it and how long each game will last. But that's a special event, and after that concludes, our varsity boys and JV boys, we come out on the field and we'll go about an hour. It's just like an hour practice for them to be under the lights, and again, I'm asking the community of Rich Valley area, the Salville area, all over, all Northwood fans, even if you're not from Northwood, come over. If you're from Holston, Whitfield, Robert Tree, Chilhowie, Patrick Henry, come over, enjoy yourself, get in a cornhole tournament, but be here and register for that by 6 o'clock, and bring any partner you want, and we'll make a bracket. And last year I think we had 4 brackets. We had a bunch of people in the cornhole tournament, and we want to see a lot of people at this event. It makes the kids feel good, and it's just kind of like a give back to the community.
Now, do you play in the cornhole tournament?
I do actually.
What's your best finish in it?
Well, last year we had I played for Coach Bricky. I'm not a good cornhole player. I'm just going to tell you, good at that cornhole. You're able to turn it somehow.
Yeah.
It's got some kind of a flip to it. Well, I'm just one of those underhand softball throwers. So I throw it underhand. And Coach Brick and myself last year, I think we were in the, we finished somewhere in maybe the top. We got beat maybe in the semifinals of our bracket.
Oh,
so
bad. Well,
that was the best for us.
that ain't too bad.
Coach Brick got her points.
You just threw them back to him, didn't
I
you?
throw them back to him. Yeah, I throw them back to him. I might have scored. I get those 1-pointers that land on the board, not in that
He
little
gets
hole.
the ringers.
He gets the ringers. Yes, sir.
So that'll be this Friday.
This Friday night, I'll be here at 5. Gates will open. We'll open up at 5. Events won't get going probably till 6:30. I don't want nobody, because the cornhole tournament's first. So as people come in, I want them to sign up. We'll have a sign-up sheet, or they can come look for me. I'll put them down, and then we'll start making some brackets. But we got to start it at 6:30 because of the time.
Yeah, because you got to have everybody ready to go by then.
Yes, because I got the ones that aggravate you to death are the flag football. It's like, when we get a play, how much more, how much longer? You always got those memories of when you played high school ball, and
You want to come back and play
You
again.
want to come back, and I preach that in our kids every week, 2 or 3 times. Is boys,
They
great.
don't realize
They don't realize
4 years is a short amount of time.
Yes, sir. You don't realize it until you get out and the next year starts. You won't believe the kids that come and say, "Gosh, Coach, I wish I had one more year." I said, "How many times have I told you that?" And even kids that, we got some athletes in this school, as every school does it, they don't play. And then later they say, "Man, I wished I'd have played." I said, "Well, how hard did I try to get you to play?" And they say, I know, Coach. But Friday night is a great event, and I want to thank you for covering this. What you're doing is just unreal, just like what Travis does. I taught Travis to it, Chilhowie. Travis, he's one of the best kids I had. He was just, I'm gonna brag on Travis. Travis was a great kid. Played basketball for me, and Travis was quiet, just a super kid. Everybody liked Travis, and same thing you're doing here. It's in with Travis, I guess, on
We're
the
partnered
side.
with TogaHe.com.
And what you're doing is excitement. My goodness, if it's kind of like this is like a game day. It's a game day, and he's gonna be here covering things before the game. It's got to get the juices flowing.
I think it's going to get everybody excited as far as fan bases. Look, we're out here the 1st of August interviewing you out here in the heat.
Yeah, it's unreal. I'm excited. I'm excited. Even if I wasn't coaching, I'd be excited. People take the time to give back to the kids. The kids are our future. The kids, what it's all about. And here you are. You're going to every school, to talk to every coach, and you're not getting anything out of this. Same way Travis does. He does it because he cares about the kids and he wants something going on. And sponsors out there, help dealing with this. Help Travis. You know, I'm begging. I'm reaching out to you for these guys. I mean, they're helping kids. They're giving back to kids, to communities. So they need sponsorship. You know, they've got to, you know, you've got to have sponsors. You've got to have gas. You've got to have this. You've got to be able to go places, put your banners up. So, you know, I'm going to ask any sponsor. I'm challenging anybody out there in this area to reach out to Hogo Online and to Dylan.
HogoGameDay.com.
Hogo Game Day. It's
partnered with it. So.
HogoGameDay.com. All right, and I'm asking you. I'm challenging you, and I'm sure the people give sponsors that you'll put on your site. Won't you?
Oh yeah, we have banners at HogoHickey.com. You can also go see it right now. We've got our sponsors. We've got Abingdon Equipment, Big M Farm Service, Appalachian Plastics, Serber and Son.
You know,
like that.
and I salute you all that have already done that. I mean, that's great because you're giving back to kids what you're doing here. You're giving to kids, and it's what better thing can your money go to? So, you know, I'm going to challenge in our area. We got to have some saltable businesses. Wayne Carter, you know, Wayne Carter, we got to have some saltable businesses and other businesses that will come out and donate some money to this. It's all tax write-off, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's tax write-off. So if we donate,
Far about it.
let's give to this guy. He'll be here Friday night. So, you know, if you want to give him a donation, then
Bring your checkbooks.
he'll be more than happy to have it. More than happy, you know. And he's going to cover every school. He'll be at every school, not just one. You know, there's a lot of broadcast out there that covers. You know,
It's easy to cover one.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
well, I covered PH there for my junior and senior year, and then I
Right.
started thinking about doing this, and it's really taken off. It's definitely
Oh,
started
it's-
up in December, and it was an idea on HogoHickey.com. We sort of threw it together with an idea of mine, and
Yeah.
here we sit.
Yeah, it's like what Travis has done. He's kept Hogo on going what? How many years?
It's been I'm not sure.
But you know,
Maybe
Travis,
8 or 9 years.
he's done that probably with a lot of money out of his pocket.
Yeah,
you
creating
know.
a website's not cheap.
No, so you know, you
Stuff like upkeep and that department's pretty high.
Oh, sir. So you know, I salute and I admire Travis and Dylan both for what they do for the kids. I mean, it's what it's all about. So, and I've repeated that I know a bunch, but you know, again, I want to challenge businesses out there, individuals even, you know, to donate money to this because they're going to be setting up on the field before the game,
Yeah,
interviewing
pregame show,
interviewing people,
coaches,
previous
old
players,
yeah.
old players, and I mean, heck, and that's going to be like a video feed, right?
Yeah, and they'll be able to see it. So.
Gosh, I mean, and then you're going to have a live broadcast, kind of like a game of the week that you can go on to Hogo to listen to, HogoGameDay.com every Friday night. For those of you at home, you know, you can't get out, Dylan's bringing something special into your own living room. So, again, you know, he needs sponsors, and I hope that we'll have a lot of people do that. Right, Wayne Carter?
He's coming after Wayne.
Well, I'm coming after Wayne. Yeah, I'm coming after Wayne. Wayne always helps us here as a football team, and I'm going to ask Wayne this year if he would to help you instead of us.
Oh, well,
I'm going to challenge Wayne to do that. And I know Wayne's wife will hear this because she's a follower of Hogo.com. So expect Friday night. We expect Wayne to help you out.
Thank you. Get a lot there. With that, we're going to go ahead and start talking about your rest of your schedule. You got Panther Pride Night Friday, which we know it's going to be free and all that, so it's going to be a fun night. Make sure you come out to that. I'm going to be here. We'll have a fun night, I believe.
We will. It
I'm
is
going
a
to try
good
to win that cornhole tournament.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to start recruiting some people to play. I'll have to recruit me a partner. But for the rest of your schedule, you've got some scrimmages coming up, I believe.
We do. Our August the 16th, we go to Twin Valley. We scrimmage at 5:50 on a Saturday evening. We scrimmage Grundy at 5:50, and at 7 o'clock we scrimmage Hayside, who should be a great team. They went to the state semifinals last year. They lost 3 ball players. They lost their quarterback, their center, and a wideout. So I mean, they're going to be right there among the top of the D1 West.
Yeah.
So that'll be and we got them second after we scrimmage 60 minutes. You know, we scrimmage 60 minutes and then take a 10-minute break and come back and scrimmage Hayside. So that's going to be a great test for us. And then the 22nd, we go to PH, and we're in a jamboree down there. I think Holston will be there.
Classic.
The Bank of Marion, and we thank the Bank of Marion. We thank anybody that sponsors anything to help kids. I mean, because that's what it's all about. Patrick Henry will be there, Holston.
It'll be at PH East Montgomery and Radford. Yeah.
Radford. So you're going to see some teams up the road. You know, you see Eastmont and Radford. It's a
pretty big deal.
And
to have
Coach
those
Palmer,
teams come down.
Coach Palmer puts a lot of time in that, and he does a good job with it. Excellent job.
And I think that's whenever we're going to do our actual preseason show there. It's going to be full of coach interviews and stuff like that, but it won't be video. It'll be live internet. We'll leave you more information about that. It'll be radio, and we'll be interviewing coaches, the Hoka-Higgy coaches. Since we'll have 3 of them there, we'll have you and Holston and Patrick Henry.
And Coach Patterson, you know, at Holston. Congratulations to you, Coach. Congratulations, Coach Matlock. Congratulations to you. You did a great job. And Coach Patterson, you know, I've heard nothing but good things about Coach Patterson. My son Ty, he knows Coach Patterson really well, plays basketball with him, and says he's a great guy, #1 guy. So Coach Patterson, you know, thumbs up to you and the best of luck to you in Holston this year.
You got any tips for him coming in?
I know.
You talk about wanting to get information from Coach.
I know Coach Matlock, he'll give you a lot more than I can give you, but yeah, just, you know, I think the thing I've done in the last, you know, coming in is you try to put too much stuff in. Keep it simple. You hear it all the time. Keep it simple for these kids. And you know, I know first year I had way too many formations, and I still get caught doing that. Just, you know, keep it simple with a couple sets, formations, different formations maybe, but limit your number of plays. I get carried away sometimes.
Well, thank you for letting us come down here, Coach.
Dylan, I thank you. I mean, it's like I said, Dylan's putting time in to travel like this. It's unbelievable. He's going to be at every stadium, going to Whitfield, still what, Chilhowie?
Yeah. First week we're going to Chilhowie, Marion. Second week we'll be right here. So you're going to be our second show. You're actually on our first show here of our YouTube channel with Coach Patterson. So this is our first real day here on the job.
That's great. Coach Patterson, you beat me on the test. I just hope I hope I can beat you this year. That's one thing about Holston. The last 2 years we played, they beat us over here 2 years ago, 37-36. Beat us last year 32-29. So those were 2 great football games, and you know, unfortunately somebody had to lose, and we were on the losing end. So, you know, hopefully this year we can get Holston, and you know, it's our turn hopefully. But it's football, and who knows? We'll do the best we can, and I know. Holston has great fans, and I got a lot of friends in Holston. It's just a good place, and you know, like I said, thanks again for doing this, and you know, I want to salute our community. I want to salute the community that we live in. Our fans are great. I mean, our fans are awesome. I wouldn't want to coach anywhere else. Like I said, I never looked at being a head coach. It happened, and you know, I thank the community for all the support that they give us. We got, you know, we got great fans, and they're loud, and they're vocal at games. A lot of times, you know, they're telling me what to run or what to throw, or you
good
know,
play.
Yeah, and they're good, but we got great fans. Great fans.
Thank you for letting us come down here. We've enjoyed it. We'll see you at the Bank of Marion, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you all for tuning in to this show. About went over again. Thank you all for tuning in, and make sure you check in next week. We're going to interview Coach Palmer and Coach Robinson.